Hello, everyone. Welcome on in. Hope y'all are having a good one. For those that don't know me, my name is Michelle. I'm Snow Fox Designs. Also, some of my special friends call me Barbie, not because of the Barbie doll, but because my husband's name is Ken. So if you ever see that mentioned out there, you know it's me. Okay, so let's get us all. All right, what is Facebook doing again? Let's try this again. Okay. Hi, Judy. Hey, Tina. Welcome on in, y'all. How's y'all's day been? I know Tina's not feeling too spiffy. She's got her sinuses acting up. Okay, let me put my glasses where they should be safe. Hey, Sandy, how are you? How's your hand? I mean to ask you, did you just get surgery on your hand or did they go into your wrist in that? I was going to ask you that and forgot. So I'm first going to start off with this little bag that I made out of burlap. It's a little cockeyed, but it's all good. We're going to add this label to it. Move that out of the way so y'all can see. These labels I just created myself and printed them off. Thank you, Judy. I appreciate it. I like to have the rough, fuzzy edges as mulberry paper and rice paper leave. I like that. Plus, I think it kind of gives it that little more antique-y look, vintage look. So they tell us we have more rain coming. Fun, fun. You had a good day? I'm glad. Mine's been okay. It's been a pretty good day, I guess. Better than some, right? Tomorrow, I will be watching my two youngest grandchildren, and I don't know if they're going to cooperate or not, but I'm going to take my mount with me. Hi, Don. Thanks for sprinkling. I'm going to take my mount with me, and I'm going to try to do, for the first time, because I haven't done it in eons, make some salt dough. And if they're going to work with me, we may do a live doing it. If not, I will try to pre-record and post it. You've had 3 storms. You know, I was hoping that when June came that we would be over all these storms already and rain, but it doesn't look like that's going to be so. I might want to take a little more off. Yeah, I want to take a little more off. So who's all going on live tonight? Let's get that out there so anybody who may not know, they may jump on and watch you. And if there's anybody on here that you're not following, please give them a follow because it helps all of us out when you do that. And we all greatly appreciate it. And I think we're more than just a creative family because there's so many others that follow us that, aren't just doing, crafts on lives and that. They do other things. So I figure support each other. Why not? Okay. Now, I'm going to put this, where did I just had it? Ah, right in front of me. Duh. I am going to put some Mod Podge on here, which I normally don't do that. I usually put it on here, then put it on after I've ironed it. I mean, after I've heated it. Yes, I did one of those too, Dawn. Those are so cool. I love that brown Amazon bags. Mine's not here anymore. I took it down, but I love doing that. I think they turn out so cool. And I see Sandy said she's going to be on at 9 tonight. Oh, you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out, Sandy. So I did, this was just a regular lighter burlap like this. And I just did the coffee grunge on it and dried it. To kind of darken it up some. I like them. They're nice. Good thing I turned and watched instead of paying the comments. I would have put this on upside down. Wouldn't that have been fun? Put it on upside down. Sure, why not? I found some. I know Hobbies carries it, but I found some, believe it or not, at Walmart. Walmart, at least some of them have been, I think, stepping up their game on stuff. All right, let's see if this is going to stay down. It's like, where's my Teflon sheet? Hi, Sherry. How are you? I didn't catch you live, but I replayed, hashtag replayed you. So as you can see, I did do some prepping earlier today. I got paint on myself. Yeah, Walmart, and I noticed some Walmarts are still even a little better than others, but they've all have stepped up with like the fabric and that. But I know I found a roll, a pretty good sized roll of the burlap. All right, this end ain't down yet. And I was happy about that. So here's our little coffee bag. And I thought I had coffee beans, but I do not. So what we are going to do temporarily is add a little bit of pillow stuffing. And then when I get my coffee beans, I can add some coffee beans to it, which will give a little addition to the smell because it already smells like the coffee grunge. Hi, Wanda. How are you? Did I miss somebody? Hi, Kathy. I see some saying hi, Kathy, and I don't want to miss anybody. Who did I miss? Where did it go? Hello, Kathy. Hey, Susan. Local fabric shop that only has upholstery fabric size. Ask them who was filling Joanne's gap in my area. No one. So temporarily, oops, this needs a little more. I almost put it on there without this, and I want to definitely put it on there with this on. Yes, my fingers are right underneath there. There. So there's our little coffee bean sack. And we will put a little bow on there, like a little tie. I have a little tie. After I get some coffee beans, I'm going to take a little bit of this out because I want to be able to put the coffee beans in there. But if any of y'all watch Andrea from the cutest little thing, she used rice, and I didn't have rice either, but there's our coffee bag. So we're going to set that to the side. Hi, Joanne. And then we're going to move on to this little guy. I pre-painted some of these with Bonding Boss so the paint in that will adhere better. And I'm going to use the mud puddle and coat this up. Hi, Linda. And if I run out of it, I have some more, so we're good to go on that. And then we're going to put a coffee label on this one. And I'm okay if it's not super dark because it is going to be my little coffee jar. Like you put your little ground coffee beans or whatever in it. Plus we're going to add a little bit of grunge on here. Hi, Karen. Hi, Cindy. How you doing, Karen? Now this is a ball mason jar, but not going to be for long. Let's give it a little dry, because knowing me, I will probably stick my hands in it. I hope you're doing better, Karen. Oh, Sherry, I'm ordering some of that clay. Never worked with it before, but you said if it's easy to work with for us that have arthritis and then our hands, I'm all for trying it. Seems like when you get past a certain age, already automatically becomes your friend. This does have a little design on the back here. It looks like it has some grapes, and I can't tell for sure. It might be an apple, not 100% sure. But that's okay, because that part's not going to be seen anyway. Got to keep watching the comments because it seems like comments will either stop or automatically just go away. I don't know what's going on. And it seems like still, again, almost every day I have an update. And it's like, really? Yep, super easy on the hands. It's a different type of drying as it still feels like a foam instead of hard. Oh, okay. Hi, Levon. Oh, you got your face appointment on Monday? Well, keeping you in prayers, my friend. Make sure everything goes okay. If you notice, it's kind of not all the same kind of color, but because we're doing kind of like a vintage look, I'm quite okay with that. I'm going to put that in my water because I don't think we're going to need that again. You're doing PT, Susan? I didn't know you were doing PT. So here's our little coffee label we're going to put on here. let me see. Make sure I can kind of approximately figure out where I want it. And then we're going to grunge it up a little bit. And I did find my lingerie piece for my washboard. So we might not get to it today, but that's one that I want to finish up. If y'all remember the washboard that I had. Actually, I think it's over here, but I don't know if y'all can see it. June and July, shaping up for more appointments, testing and blood work. Already tired of it. A girl, I bet you are. I get that. I get that, Susan. Those nerves, when they don't want to settle down or never settle down, is a real pain. And annoying. I hope it helps you. Hi, Melissa. So if anybody's on here, let me think. I don't think they're on here today, but if you're on here, and Happy Mail is been all sent out, so anybody that was getting Happy Mail should be getting it in a couple days. That's what they wanted me to do, Susan, but out of pocket was going to cost us almost $4,000, and I said, nope, sorry. Plus, with the myelogram, like the neurosurgeon said, it may show more stuff and it may not show any more. So it just depends on how the nerves are in there. So I thought, well, I'm not paying $4,000 to have a maybe. All right, y'all, where did I just stick it? Ah! Did you wind up with any headaches or anything? Because I know sometimes some people get real bad headaches from the myelogram. I know I could have just rubbed this down and put it on there and used like the heat gun in that, but I'm going to try this and see if it'll hold it down there better. If not, then I'll add. May have to add a little more here on the ends. And then I will seal these, but because I don't have an open space, I will seal them after the fact outside. Mine showed a bit more at the same spot, and I think that was the more positional. Thanks for throwing snowballs. Mine that they didn't want, even though with the neck I have some that are pushing on the spinal cord, he said he was more concerned with the lumbar down, and that's where he wanted to see, but since it was going to be so expensive, he said I'd be okay. Good news, I'm weaning off one. Oh, awesome, Karen, that's good. Done at the end of the week, then only 2 droppers. Well, that's good. So here's this temporarily. I need to go ahead and run. Well, not temporarily. I'm going to do this because some of it didn't get totally dry up there. Mild headache, had a spinal leak last time. That was horrid. This was more back pain. You spot right above where all my hardware is. Really hard to access. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard that sometimes people come out with the spinal leakage, which gives them horrendous headaches, but then they give them like a blood pack, I believe they call it. It's basically your own blood that they put back in there to kind of heal it. But I'm glad they were able to find out more info for you. So there's that. This says coffee always hot and fresh brewed. And I need my alternate battery. because this one died. I was trying to make sure it was on so I wouldn't forget. And then we're going to take our little burlap here after I put some glue up around the top to help hold it. Y'all, I'm still on the lookout for our big jugs. I have some here, but I want to look for some more, and well, it's not exactly where I wanted to put it. I should have looked while instead of talking, but the talking got in the way. Oops. I really wanted that point to be over here, but it didn't happen, so I'm going to take, no. We're going to take some some material here. Where'd the other piece go that I had? All right. I'm throwing stuff on the floor all over the place, y'all. I'm going to take some lace that I also grunged up. And this is cow material. It has cows on it. I'm going to see if I can just tie a little bow off to the side here. Maybe yes, maybe no. Because I'm not always coordinated, you know. Blood patch, can't sneeze, cough, get in, fender bender, fall, or anything that can knock it loose. Can only do it once. Laid on couch. Fun times. Not. Who's good at tying stuff? I'm not. My fingers don't always seem to want to work. I'm going to tie this in a knot. And then we could add maybe a little button or something on here. I think the last time we looked, it said it feels like it's 88 here today. Now I'm going to trim that a little bit. Those little pieces I'm not worried about. We have a button. Let's find a little button to put on here. Anybody else have a ton of buttons? My favorites are the wood buttons, but I don't always seem to find those. You're probably wondering what I'm going to put these all in. Well, I found this little container. So there's that. I found this little container, and I didn't want to paint it because I really like the color and all that of it. And I put a little bit of brown cloth in here, and we're going to stick them in here. And our little coffee is going to go in here. But I'm going to put that up here because we still have some more to do. Thanks, Cindy. So I think what we're going to do next is I had a little milk jug, but it was super little. It's not very big, and you could barely see it. So instead, I'm going to use this as my milk jug and use a little bit of the sawmill gravy to brush over it. Hi, Maddie. How are you? Thanks, Tina. And brush over it. And then we're going to take some cinnamon mixture, like that, cinnamon. Trying to find my favorite brushes. That's not the one I like. We'll use this one. And then we're going to kind of grunge it up a little bit. I might be doing this in sections. After I'm going to paint it, and then I'm going to put my milk label on here, and then we may put a little more paint on here and then grunge it up. Uh-oh. So how is everybody else's weather today? Ours has been warm. This bottle, I believe I found at those, like when you walk into Target, those little racks that they have. I think that's where I found this bottle at. Again, for those that are hopping on, I'm going to try for the first time doing some salt dough tomorrow. I'll be with my two younger grandbabies. They're not babies anymore. They're 10 and 7, but sunny and feels like 102. Oh, good gravy. I don't want 102. Sorry. If they cooperate, we'll do a live. If they're not cooperating, then I will be trying to do the salt dough mixture and pre-record it and then share it with y'all. So I'm not 100% sure if I'll be on tomorrow or not. Depends on the cooperation. Sometimes it's hard to get good help, you know, or assistance. So I want to get half of this dried because knowing me, I'll turn it and get some of it to fall off or smudge it or whatever. So I'm drying this side first and then we'll flip it and move on, put our label on. And all these labels, I just used one of those AI generated apps and did them myself. Central VA 85, hazy, getting humid. Yeah, we're sunny and we're supposed to have some rain coming in again. I think I just stuck my finger in where it wasn't totally dry. So we'll just touch over that. But even though most milk is really bright white, I kind of like it a little off white. And I think the sawmill gravy makes it look like that. '74. Susan, you probably shouldn't have been out mowing the grass. Making sure I got some. I'll have to come back and touch up some of the end there. I see I didn't get. 74 and cloudy. Rain predicted tomorrow through the weekend. You got storm number 4. Sherry, we went through that same stuff. I don't know. I guess it's, time to move around the United States and let everybody go through it this year. I feel like we've had more storms, more tornadoes and that than most of the years in the past, or it seems like it. Everybody's been getting hit so bad. I bet they do have an opinion about it. Miss Teeter's not herself right now. She's no longer a puppy. She became a woman here. Poor thing. I always feel sorry for them when they go through their first heat cycle. They're like, what in the world? Oh, well, stay safe. We haven't been hit with tornadoes. Luckily, it's been all around us. Okay, let's take some of this off. Get my little handy dandy water pen. Let me move that out of the way because I want to make sure y'all can see. Now, I do like the water pen, but I also like using a brush sometimes for no particular reason, just that I do sometimes. So how many on here has made? We got one headed our way, Susan? Fun, fun. So how many on here have made salt dough? I think I may have made it once when my kids were in elementary school, so that's been quite a few years back. So you might as well say I'm doing it new for the first time. I hope there's not one headed our way. I don't want any more. All right, if this is a little bit covered a little bit more than it needs to be with our Mod Podge, I'm okay with that. Made salt dough in first grade. I am going to try and make some bread loaves and some donuts. And then eventually I want to move into trying to make some other things. And I know they also can make bread using, what is it? It's some kind of foam stuff that you can put in there. Haven't tried that either. Try to make sure I get this on here. I don't think I went over far enough. Oop, little wrinkle. Went far enough on this side, but not on the other side. So we'll just take a little bit. Ah, okay. Now, just for the drying purpose, I'm going to use, instead of the iron, my heat gun. Years back, salt dough and cinnamon apple sauce. Have not done cinnamon applesauce dough. Actually, I think that went on pretty good. Not real wrinkled. For me, I've used the paper before and did like the decoupage with it, but I like the rice paper or the mulberry paper because it leaves kind of that like phrased fuzzy edge, and I like that. I did that and made Christmas ornaments. Well, I'm kind of hoping that tomorrow they're kind of into it and they can have some, and do what they want with it, just to make sure they don't eat it. But okay, so we're going to make sure I don't mix my brushes up. I got my cinnamon here. I had a spoon here. Do I still have my spoon here? No, but we have a measurer here, so we'll use the measurer because I don't want to stick my hands all the way in it. So we have our cinnamon ready, and I am going to take, actually, I'm going to take some cinnamon because I just want to streak it kind of over here. I don't want to cover the whole thing up. You need that off to the side. We're going to take our brush and just kind of brush it up and down. So I don't want it too heavily coated, but just enough, if that makes sense. I did ornaments and put in potpourri. Hey, Ken. Just to kind of grunge it up a bit. So I'm just lightly tapping the Mod Podge on here and into my cinnamon. I believe it's cinnamon. Yes, cinnamon, pumpkin spice, and ground nutmeg mixture. Some people like cloves. I don't do cloves. I don't like the smell of them or the taste of them. And I know sometimes people like to do cloves on their ham. No, thank you. Now, it's not that big a deal up here at the top because we're going to have some burlap going over, but I'm doing it there anyway. I think I'm going to do a little bit more around the label. So we're going to make it, and I'm going to dab a little bit on here, and then come back with the cinnamon, or cinnamon, just to kind of outline it a little bit. Make the label kind of stick out a little bit more is what I'm thinking. I think it makes it pop out a little more, don't y'all? By adding a little around the edge. And again, I will be sealing this, but I'm going to seal it afterwards because I'm going to use like the Mod Podge sealer. But since I don't have good ventilation in the house, I'm not going to do it in the house. So there's that. Let's see, I missed a spot down here. Okay. Tiff and I are going to may say, oh, that would be fun. How fun. So I'm going to give this a quick dry, and we're going to put our little burlap top on here. I've always wanted to do the mosaic, but haven't done it yet. I wish I was better at freehand drawing. I don't think I have that bone in my body. So again, I'm just going to take a little bit of the hot glue up here to help hold. I think that one just fell off a little bit, so it might be dripping a little. Hold our top piece here. This one we're going to put a little bit of jute around the top. And we have one other piece, y'all, and it's tiny, so it shouldn't take us long to do that one. Just saying. I'm going to put a little bit of glue up here. Could you tell that was smart? That was smart. Got my finger. So what's everybody having for dinner tonight? I have not the foggiest, faintest idea whatsoever. And I'm not sure, but I think Ken might be going to the auction, but I'm not sure. So there's our cute little milk bottle. I'm going to stick that right over here for the moment. Now let me show you the cute little thing. I thought it was adorable, but that's me. Close my paint up. I found this. Isn't that adorable? And we're going to put this on there. I thought it was cute because, we got coffee, we got milk, but some people don't like milk in their coffee. But hey, they might like a little something something, so why not have it in there? I am not a drinker by any means, but probably like some of the rest of us, there's days that you're like, if I was a drinking person. So this is another label that I created from one of those AI apps. And then I had my handy dandy partner, Mr. Ken. He actually shrunk it down for me so it would fit on this little jug. Okay. So now that needs to go in there because we don't need that. Let's take our little brush here and let's Mod Podge it up so we can get this little bad boy on here. I'll make sure I get enough on this time. Nobody having anything good for dinner tonight? I see Linda says, hi, Becky. I guess this ain't working over here. You're having steak medallions and green beans. That sounds good. Oh, whatever they want. Okay, that's a good one. That makes it easy. And you make yours Irish, your coffee. I know we have a friend that likes Bailey's, and I know she does Bailey's sometimes in hers. So there's that. But now we're going to Mod Podge it all over because we're going to add our cinnamon in. Move that paper out of the way. I don't know why the comments stopped over here. Kahlua coffee. So now I have to look this way. Good old Facebook. Just wants to give you all kinds of issues. Anybody else have updates today? I had some more updates again. I'm going to do this in sections because I don't want it going and my hand getting all sticky, even though they're already kind of. See, it won't be on the label because I didn't put anything on the label, but it will be around the label. So that's why I can come in here and kind of brush it off. So there's part of it. Whoop! Almost stuck it in the wrong thing. That's what happens. Better move that. Actually, I can dump that in there. I say better move that, or I'm going to do like I did the one day. I was on the live and I had paint and the diamond dust real close to each other, and y'all can, who wasn't on, can guess what happened. Stuck my finger in the paint thinking it was the diamond dust. Oops. Not a good thing. All right, let's get this done. And it had a cork in it, and I could not get it to come out, so I just left the cork in there. Let's get the rest of this done, then we can finish this whole thing all at one time, because there's just a little bit left right here. Hi, Devana. Sugar-free ice cream, iced coffee for you. Oh, that does sound kind of good. I have a bourbon cream liqueur that would be good in coffee. Tonight's giving me non-crafting ideas. Sorry. Where'd I put my little, I guess I must have put it back. Brush off our little label here because it's not going to stick anyway. But there's our little jug. Now I'm going to try to give it a quick little dry here. You know, this is kind of frustrating. I have 3 devices. I have my phone, I have my iPad in front of me that I see on, hey, and then I have my computer, my laptop right next to me. You think they all would be working the same? Nope. My phone stopped with the comments. I see them. I'm hoping I'm seeing them all on my laptop. You got white paint Mod Podge mixed up. Hey, I could see where that happens, especially if you have it sitting really close to you. It was very easy for me to do. Okay, I'm going to leave that in there. Where did I just put my top? Y'all, I lost my top. I'm not going to put a bow on that because I don't think the little jug needs it. Wipe this up because we're going to bring our little container back that I like. So I thought that was really cute. And here's our little milk. We're going to have our coffee beans here. And once I put the coffee in, I'll have it tied up so it'll be like that. And here's our little jug that's going to go in here. But I think I'm going to have to put something under there because I want it to hold up. So it'll be like that. And I think that's pretty cute, don't y'all? I really like the way the milk came out. And actually, I can put the milk here. This I like, but I should have paid attention and had that over a little bit more. And then I could put a little coffee cup in here. I could do that. So if I did that, I could like have the coffee cup like right there with the coffee and that, so it looks something like that. What do y'all think? This I'm going to close up, and when I do close it up, I have where I coffee stained some ribbon, and I'll just tie one, or just take, maybe just in this case, instead of a bunch of ribbon, got strings here, y'all. It seems like no matter how often I pull the strings off, and when you shred the ribbon, or not the ribbon, the material, it gets it. I think maybe just put the brown round here, don't you all? And I'll take a picture once I put the beans in here, and then just tie that off. I think the brown is probably the better bet, don't you? Thanks, Wanda. I gotta see who I'm missing. Thanks, Wanda. Thanks, Tina. Thanks, Melissa and Maddie and Linda and Judy. Thread a cord through the bag to give pucker look, basted or running stitch. Well, Miss Karen, I could do that, and believe it or not, I know what you're talking about. Not a good sewer, but I do know those words. I could do that, but I thought it was kind of giving it, even with like, you don't think it just scrunching it up, it gives it kind of a puckery look. It puckers that up really good. We'll see. I might pop it out and kind of pull it so it's more like, kind of like that. And then we'll have our completed set. And I thought that one was really long, but it's not. So I will be, and if I can't find my coffee beans, you can always, like Andrea did, she added some of the stuffing and added some rice into it. You could also use, for an alternative, if you have like dried beans at home, like dried soup beans, you could put that in there. But these all smell good because I used the coffee grunge on there. And I'm sure y'all know the coffee grunge recipe. I got mine from Andrea, and like she said, you can tweak it if you want to, but basically it's like a cup of hot water, half a cup of your instant coffee, and I do get mine also at Walmart like hers, because you get a big container and it's only like $5 or a little over $5. And then you can add like 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, a tablespoon of nutmeg, and I also like her because I like the smell of the vanilla, plus I think it gives it that little bit of color also. 2 tablespoons of vanilla, but then I also add the pumpkin spice. Some people add cloves, some people take out the cinnamon and just use the others, so however you want to do it. But the main ingredients for me, the way I look at it, is the hot water, the cup of hot water, and the half a cup of coffee, the ground coffee. Karen, what are you laughing at? Because I knew what you were talking about. More authentic with running a cord? Well, I will see what I can do. I can't guarantee it, but I'll do the best that I can. Anyway, y'all have a good rest of the day. Anybody having storms coming in, please be safe. I hope none of us are getting any tornadoes, because Lord knows we don't want them anymore. We're done with all that. In the meantime, have a good rest of the day. Stay safe. Hope y'all have a good evening. I appreciate each and every one of you. You are the highlight of my day. I appreciate all the support that you give me. It is very much appreciated. I am going to be working on a eBay where I will be posting some of my projects for sale. And as soon as that's up and running, I will let you all know and figure out how I can get a link to post and pin to my page. But have a good rest of the evening, you all. I will let you know for sure if I'm on tomorrow. Like I said, it'll depend on if I get cooperation from the youngsters. Otherwise, I will post a video, because I am going to try some salt dough tomorrow. So cross your fingers and hopefully it works. Have a good one, everybody. Bye, all. Have a good evening.